So, welcome all of you to the values workshop. And the value for today is victory. So, let's sit back and ponder on this value of victory. What is the real meaning of victory for me? And to give it a deeper perspective, what is, in the true sense, being a spiritually victorious soul? Is it really something to do with the physical body or the sense organs? Or something at a deeper level, the subtleties of the soul? To what extent am I victorious over my past actions and sanskars? So from today's workshop, let's make an attempt to explore these various aspects of true inner victory. And as always, let's start on time. Though we are less people, people may join us soon. So just go further. These are our episodes. We have completed 75. Thank you all of you for joining the Values Workshop birthday anniversary last Saturday. We really had a blast. It was really a spiritual blast listening to all the senior Rajyogis, their inspirations. And as we move further on our journey today, we have with us our dear facilitator, Sister Anu, this time from West Coast, and myself. We didn't have other facilitators. They were committed with some other things. So both of us are there for you all, and the entire team of interpreters and translators and the recorders. A big thanks to all of you all for sustaining this series through your sustenance. So let's start with the icebreaker video. A slightly longish video, bear with me for that, and see what insights you can gain from this. We'll have some more people joining by that time. Yes, welcome back. I wanted to know your insights about the video, if anything. Silent as always.
It
We
is
have
better to have a rickshaw, a motorbike rickshaw. It's more easy life.
Okay, so easy life. That's what I understood. Brother Michael. Okay. If you all want to write down in the chat box also, I hope I'm not missing anything. Let me check. Yeah, something is there.
Sorry, the chat box was not open to everyone. Now everybody can put in the chat.
Okay. So Balwinder sister is saying switch to something. Okay, maybe switch to sharing all. Okay. We have 1 more minute. Well, okay. So it's okay if there are no sharings, then we'll see. Yeah.
Julia here.
Yeah. Go ahead, sister. Yeah.
After reflecting a little bit, because it's kind of complex video, looks simple, but it's complex. I think victory is something very personal. So what is victory for me means nothing for another person. So it's something in a deep level, soul level, and when we work hard, because he was struggling with the stone, and I saw the woman trying to get the last popcorn or whatever that was, push herself to the front. So that gave him the push to pass that stone and continue. So how I see that is that God help us always, when we are pursuing our goal, or we are looking to obtain something, we are reaching for something, we want to improve, we want to transform, we always help somehow, and sometimes not even notice, so we need to have that sense of awareness, or see that sensitivity to see, how I'm being helped to obtain this victory. So that's kind of what I got.
Right. Good for pointing out. I didn't realize that, yes, that the lady behind that, whatever popcorn, she leaned forward and that helped the person to be victorious. Yeah, that's true. I realize that now. So see, and I'll just read the sharings. Jujar says sometimes obstacles, the rock which was there, are little things and we can get over them. Sister Balwinder says when we compare, we lose our ability to put our best effort. According to her, victory is self-satisfaction, being content with whatever we have, without looking at others, right? And I'll take the last, there are a couple of them coming now, so the page is just clicking off. Okay. When we compare, small obstacles become mountains. So I think we should be away from comparison. And Senam is saying rickshaw driver was happy and victor. Oh yes, we forgot how the rickshaw driver was trying to mock this puller, I don't know what to call it, the one who was riding the cycle with hands. So the rickshaw driver was happy and victorious, no matter about all around. I don't know whether he was really mocking that guy or what. And yeah, Portuguese translation. Thank you, brother Manuel. It says, Okay, Moises wants us to share the video link later. Yeah, we'll be doing that later when we send you all the link in the emails which we send out later. So thank you so much for kicking start this session. Over to you, Sister Anu, for the first exercise. Thanks.
You, Brother Manoj. And yeah, that was a beautiful video, complex, maybe a bit, and we saw different perspectives that we can see. Thank you, Julia, sister, for sharing deeply something that we did not think. So now let's move on to our first exercise, and that would be figuring out or thinking what is the true meaning of victory for me, because what is that we value? What is that we see as victory? So with this reflection will begin this journey of victory. So for that, reflect on what is the true meaning of victory for me. So in my life, what are the instances where I have been truly victorious over myself? Or whatever is that is the definition of victory for you. Think of the instance, one or few, where you have truly been victorious. So we'll take a minute to reflect and then we can share. So I hope we took this chance to reflect on. So what is the true meaning of victory for you? And what was that instance that made you feel that you truly were victorious? So you can share briefly. You can unmute and share, whoever like to. I'm sure you are inspired to share.
Yeah, Shanti. For me, when I find it's my way now as a BK, as a yogi, when I have a method, when I'm able to achieve more, easier, faster, and my weakness doesn't interfere, then I feel I'm victorious and I want to have much more, but at least for now, it's okay. That's my victory for now.
That's beautiful. Yeah, as a yogi, when my weakness doesn't interfere and whatever you are doing it happily. How much ever you achieve, that's victory. Yeah, thank you so much, Michael. Anyone else would like to share?
I would love to share too. I do agree with the sister said and the brother just now. It is whatever effort we make, and when we it's personal. It's when we had made so much effort and reach victory, like the rickshaw driver. He was so happy in the end. I think that is victory for the self.
That's right.
Thank you.
That joy you experience, you don't remember the obstacles or whatever. That was hardship. So yeah, thank you, Sanam, for sharing that. You can also put in the chat, but it would be nice if you unmute and speak. So Golden says getting more satisfaction, more happiness than getting material gain is victory.
Can I,
Yep.
can
Yes,
I go?
Didi.
When I'm stable and I can counsel myself in a complex situation, so I feel nice. And there was a situation when we had to shift from Bombay to another city for 2 years, but I managed, so I feel victorious.
Yeah. So a difficult situation, complex situation, but keeping up with my stability and flowing through it was victory for you. That was beautiful sharing. And I think all of us here have now connected with one or other situation and practically has caught that is victory for us. So thank you, Vidhi. Anyone else would like to speak and share?
Not get distracted from external things no matter what's happening.
Hi, Rodi. Are you speaking? Or by mistake?
Let me repeat it because of probably internet connection is a problem. Not get distracted from external things no matter what.
Not being distracted from whatever that you have chosen to do, no matter what, is victory. That's beautiful. Thank you, Rodi. And Juja Singh says, seems victorious is just the last step, but not different than all the previous steps. Yeah, it seems like victory is the last step, but it is the collection of all the steps. Without that, it's not possible. Amol says, I think when my thoughts, words, and actions align, I feel victorious. That's beauty. So again, Amol says, when my dincharya or day's routine as per Srimad, elevated directions of God, like that's what we study at Brahma Kumaris, I feel victorious. When I can spend my day with that highest elevated principles to live life, that is victorious. We would like to hear from others. Yeah, Eva says, never giving up, no matter what is. Yeah, I loved few of us shared that that inner state of stability, of staying with it, whatever it is that I'm doing makes us happy, and that's victory. Yes. Balvinder, you can share, unmute and share, please.
Yeah, good morning and Om Shanti, everyone. Victory for me is when I found your class and you made me conscious from my unconscious lifestyle. And when I kept my consistency, awakening myself fully, and when I realized everything has to be changed within me by myself only. Yes, I can heal myself and I am healing myself. Thank you so much. Om Shanti.
Thank you, Balvinder. We can feel that joyful victory you feel. Yeah, finding this. I loved it, as you said, becoming your unconscious pattern conscious. So that must be feeling victorious. And it is this value series that you always appreciate. Thank you so much. So again, in the chat, Dinesh says that I feel victorious when I'm able to stabilize in soul conscious stage from body conscious. And Param says victory is complete awakening. Anyone else would like to share?
Om Shanti Didi ji.
Om Shanti, yes, Vijay Bhaiji.
Please accept, my dear brothers and sisters, please accept greetings of love, peace and happiness. I am in UK, so it's quite cold here. So, but the time is very good. It's about 2:30 afternoon here. Brothers and sisters, God has told us when you get failure, so-called failure, you get up and keep the same enthusiasm and keep the same determination is victory. More failures, more enthusiasm, more determination is victory. Continue do that for a long run, that your determination and your enthusiasm, God says, will be paid, which will be a real success. So every failure is a victory, and continuous failure and making it a victory by enthusiasm and determination, that victory is our birthright. With this determination, ultimately, you get victory. Om Shanti.
Thank you so much. That's what is echoing with Pavan's sharing, that when you fail, but you accept, you get up and walk again, understanding that everything has a benefit. That is victory. Thank you so much. Maybe just one last sharing we can take, and then maybe Dr. Mehta can just share what is victory for you quickly.
I'm talking in a mundane way, especially when you contest certain elections for higher offices, like you're in academic societies and you head the academic society, you're elected to head. That's, I thought at some point of time, it's within you, you feel that you've been victorious. There was a contest and you were elected. This, of course, in a mundane way. In Baba's Gyan, of course, whenever you are called upon to give the important seva, I think that's a victory. In terms of,
That's beautiful.
Talents for the seva. I think achievement.
Right. So in the spiritual journey, when you are called upon to do a service, that itself is victory. That's beautiful. Thank you so much. Yeah. I think we can quickly see what Deepak Bhai has recorded, all of your sharings that we'll share later on. And then we'll move on. Thank you, Deepak Bhai. So, yeah, when I have received victory over myself, that is victory. In the sense of when I can achieve happiness, when I can, the weakness doesn't interfere in my journey, whatever I'm doing. Victory is making effort like the rickshaw driver and overcoming obstacles and satisfaction and joy at the end. Being stable no matter what the situation is, that's victory. Not getting distracted by externals, that's victory. And victory is not just the last step, even if it seems like that, but it is the overall, all the steps that takes you to victory. And when thoughts, words, and actions align, that's victory. And yeah, my whole day, if I can follow the highest directions, Srimad, from God, that is victory. So yeah, the value series that makes our unconscious pattern conscious. That's beautiful sharings. So let's further go into the depth. Yeah, determined to win is victory. For service when you are called upon, that is victory truly in the spiritual path. When you fail, but you get up and move on, that's victory. So beautiful sharings, beautiful thoughts, and then let's deepen our understanding, experience.
Okay, so thank you all of you for your sharings, and it's wonderful to see that how you all have explored this victory from a very inner perspective. And somehow it reminds me that, as someone was saying, the thought, word, and action. So even purity, internal purity is also victory. So that's amazing. So let's begin for the next 3-4 minutes our journey towards action planning, as always we do. So let's sit back and again look at yourself, that tiny conscient being that you are. And as shared before by someone, are my thoughts, words, and actions in congruence? That is true inner victory for me. Where I can really watch my thoughts, what I'm thinking, and accordingly speak and behave. Let me ask a few other questions to myself. Have I gained victory over my sense organs? Of what should I be seeing, listening to, or reading? So if I can have full control over my sense organs, I can truly be victorious. Coming to a subtle level, have I got full victory over what I'm thinking in the entire day? Am I really able to get rid of my waste thoughts? And the mundane, necessary thoughts which just take away my time and energy. So how victorious am I on that waste thoughts? Let me in this moment shift my consciousness to something higher than me. That's the Supreme Being, who is indeed the ever pure, the ever victorious soul. Having connected with that divine energy, I experience utmost purity in my thoughts, words, and actions, which indeed makes me a victorious soul. Finally, as we conclude the meditation, let me see what I can do in the action planning now in the next exercise. What steps or methods can I apply to really implement the self-victory in my thoughts, words, behaviors, and actions? So with this, I'll stop sharing the screen and over to Sister Anu for the next activity. Yes.
Thank you, Brother Manoj, for such a beautiful meditation. As we are seeing victory from our inner perspective, I'm sure with this beautiful, deeper experience, you can look at the action planning, and that is methods to attain self-victory. So we talked about stability, that inner satisfaction, joy, that is about victory within the self. So let's reflect on the various methods by which I can achieve victory over the self, so that the externals won't distract. So what would be the various methods that will help you to achieve the victory over yourself? Let's take 1 minute to reflect on this, then we'll share. I'm sure you got few methods jotted down for yourself for taking this journey forward and experience victory more often or more powerfully. This time we can we would love to hear from those who haven't shared yet. Would like to share. Please unmute and yes, Reena.
Okay, so victory is basically victory over the vices, which we all have. And there's a long list and not just five. The first five is very easy to conquer, but the next rest of the things, it takes time. So in one of the classes, it was said that now it is a world of obstacles. At every step, someone or the other will, come as obstacle in your life, in your efforts, and a lot of things, especially in service. So it's like, am I able to take those things and convert it to my benefit? That is, make it a manure for my personal growth. That is, if somebody is giving you lemons, am I able to make the most special, delicious lemonade out of it and enjoy it? That is victory for me. If I'm able to do it within, without wasting much time, that is victory for me.
Wow, that's really powerful. Delicious lemonade or the soil to grow. You put it as the manure, you said, I think, for all the obstacles that come my way. That's powerful. That's really beautiful perspective through which we can see everything that's. Thank you, Rena, for sharing. Beautiful. Anyone else who would like to share?
Julia here.
Yes.
For me, a method that has worked is to visualize myself being victorious. So whatever I'm pursuing, whether it's achieving something like win a marathon or something like that, or control a vice, get rid of a bad habit. What I do is visualize myself being successful already, being totally in control or winning the marathon. So that is a motivation for me to continue my efforts. As well, renew commitment every day, have what you want to conquer or achieve, and then commit to that every day, every morning. Renew your commitment, analyze why you want to achieve that, how it's important, and also trust that you'll get there. Discipline also is important because you have to find ways to methods, whether it's thinking, committing, visualizing yourself to obtain what you want to achieve, and then you'll be victorious. So those are some of the methods.
Beautiful. The spiritual tool, we say, of visualization. So visualizing, but before that, being clear what you want to do, why, based on the knowledge, and being determined. Keep moving. So that's beautiful. Thank you, Julia. We see a few in the chat, but I would welcome whoever like to unmute and speak. What are your?
Sister, I'll like to go ahead.
Please go ahead.
Yeah. Om Shanti. Sister, for me, the victory is that I mentioned in fact, in the chat box that if you are able to maintain, if you stabilize yourself in a soul conscious mode from the body conscious, Baba also tells us that, see, connect me and your sins will be cut away. So, and Manmanavo and Madhyajivo, both the words Baba has given us. So in the corporate world, I tried to implement these things, Baba, what Srimat he has given. So a lot of challenges, things will not go the way you want to. So all the time, if those challenges, whenever I'm facing, I simply surrender to Baba, and Baba then he takes care. And most of the time I see that I get support. So that's what I wanted to share. You surrender to Supreme and you will succeed.
That's
you will get it.
Sure. So the divine, that we Father, Baba. So we trust fully. And when there is obstacle, you fully dedicate or surrender yourself, and having that faith and soul consciousness, that again faith in the self, that you will be victorious as you are following divine's path. Yeah, thank you so much for sharing that, Denise. Anybody else would like to share? I can read a few from the chat. Ajujar Singh says, a little forbearing and carefulness early on saves lots of work later on. Yeah, carefulness to be victorious, not doing any wrong or mistakes. Senem says constant churning, learning, effort making with stability in faith, being stable in your faith in divine faith, in the goodness that you keep moving and divine will take care. Mansi says positive self-talk and check and change, waste to good constantly. Also keep in my mind who am I and what are my original qualities. These are all the teachings. Today morning teaching also, we got the Srimad, elevated direction that changed all the ways into the best or a positive. Param says self-introspection, finding a root cause of weakness, understanding the direction of supreme authority about overcoming that weakness, implementing directions, monitoring the progress until you achieve victory, maintaining that stage. So a lot of self-awareness, conscious self-awareness. Santosh says victory on sense organs while fulfilling family responsibilities, keeping balance of service also, and victory over wasteful and negative thoughts, monitoring self-progress on daily basis. So monitoring the self is coming again and again. Michael says, before starting any activity, I go to Baba, the divine, and try to catch any inspiration. It always works beautifully. Again, Balwinder says, increasing concentration power, soul power, using divine intellect, becoming master of my senses, staying conscious 24/7 about harmony among thoughts, words, and actions, understanding signs of darkness, and fully awakening. Beautiful and powerful sharings. I think time is running very fast. Maybe we can take just one sharing. Whoever would like to unmute and speak, please.
Om Shanti Didi.
Om Shanti Vijay Bhai, very quickly.
First thing is, unless we have the knowledge and the purity in life, we cannot have victory in life. The knowledge of self and the Supreme, and then the knowledge to connect with the Supreme and follow this Shrimat throughout your life from morning day Amrit Vela to till you sleep in the night. Continuous following this Shrimat and remembrance of God in the right way as a point of light with the ocean of light. Only then you can become pure in your thoughts, in your words, in your actions, in your behavior. This method is the only method to have victory in life, victory over nature, Prakriti Jeet, Man Jeet, Dunya Jeet, Swarg Jeet. Om Shanti.
Thank you. Yeah, so again, the spiritual aspect that keep on moving with a clear understanding of knowledge. Pavan says courage to bear defeat without losing heart is also. I think, yeah, with the sense of time, we'll move on. So maybe Deepak Bhai, thank you so much if you can share. You've got. This is the bouquet of powerful spiritual insights we got. So you will all receive in the email. So maybe, yeah, I can just catch a few as we heard many of that spiritual really insight and power holding on to that. So winning over vices, that is like winning marathon, being clear and determined to win, self-introspection, finding root cause of weaknesses, understanding the direction of supreme authority, and overcome the weaknesses, implementing the directions practically in life, monitoring the self-progress, monitoring the self that came few times, victory over our sense organs, and while fulfilling family responsibilities, keeping balance on the self and service and family, victory over wasteful and negative thoughts. And before starting anything, take inspiration from God. That was beautiful. And increasing concentration power, focus on the knowledge that you understand that you want to carry with you as you move on. And we have the knowledge about the self and the supreme, and then connect with the supreme to get the power for victory and bear defeat without losing heart. Thank you, everyone. Powerful sharings. Now I hand it over to Brother Manu. Thank you.
Thank you. And as we speak, we have a sparkling star seen on the screen who was initially as a silent spectator. So we have Brother Golo with us, but I won't be giving you right now. We have 15 more minutes to revise what we had done the last. So I hope that's okay with you. And maybe you can also listen to what Brother Matthias and Sister Gopi had to share on victory. And I'll be formally doing your introduction and a poem for you. So please hang on a bit, and I'll be giving it to you by 8:30 India time. So thank you so much for joining on time or before time. So let's begin our journey. It's been a long time, I think almost 3 weeks that we listened to them. That was on 14th October, exactly 3 weeks from now. And whatever they spoke was all about victory at a very inner level, at a very deeper level. So Brother Matthias first said that it was all about winning in sports and understanding victory from that perspective. But victory is not to get carried away by impulses coming from inside. So winning over emotions, that's indeed something very deep, because we are really in a world where our emotions can be up and down all the time. Am I really able to win over them? That's what he was trying to say. Then I think both of them touched about this very deep concept, which is also mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita, that do your duty, but don't think about the outcome. So when I totally focus on performing my action without being concerned about what the outcome is, then my effort making actually becomes very effortless. And you can see the Bhagavad Gita, the verse is mentioned on the right side, that do your duty, but you're not entitled to the fruits of your actions. And actually, that's what we're also taught at Brahma Kumaris, that never do whatever service you're doing, thinking of some return which you're wanting, that is actually swarth. It is something selfish if I am wanting something in return. And also, once we become very deeply soul conscious on this level, we can become karmativ. That is, it's a beautiful Hindi word used in the Murli teachings at Brahma Kumaris, whereby you do your action and then totally get detached from the outcome of that action. So that is being truly karmativ. And victory is when they said the outcome becomes totally irrelevant. Whether there is failure, success, doesn't matter. And actually, it won't be successful. It will never happen that, because if you're doing God's task, the Supreme Being's task, there is always success and victory immersed in that. Also, a beautiful thing they touched upon was my victory doesn't lie in proving myself right all the time or in striving for my achievements. It lies when I lay in my own self-respect. And here it reminds me of Dinesh Bhai, who was sharing, being a corporate professional himself. He was saying that how soul consciousness, being in soul conscious state 24/7, a bit challenge. But the more I can practice doing that, the more I am connected to the divine consciousness as well. That's actually victory over body consciousness. And that's what is true self-respect, whereby I remain completely unruffled no matter what the situation is. So this was the deeper aspect of understanding victory. They touched upon something called spiritual victory, which was all about having clarity of intellect. And I would like to read out the second point, if you can try. I really didn't quite get that, but you have to keep reading it again and again to understand what they said. that behind defamation, there is confused praise. Read it later when we send you the churning points. Like people can't see anything less than what they think of you, which means you are a highly elevated soul actually. So people really, if they are trying to maybe praise you or defame you, you have to be actually away from both these extremes. But behind defamation, we need to make sure that in Hindi we say, Ninda meri jo kare is my friend. So actually, it's good to have someone who can constantly sort of remind you of your weaknesses and criticize you for them so that you can work upon self. So that way it is in one way a little bit of confused place. That's what I felt from this sentence. And they also mentioned that the biggest defeat in relationships are subtle desires and expectations. So if I want to be really victorious in my relationships, I need to develop this stage of being away from desires. And again, a beautiful word used in the Murlis, Ichha Matram Avidya, which means total ignorance about what is a desire. And desire, not at a very grand or physical level, but all those subtle desires, which are basically my expectations from people. So if I can really get over expectations, I'm really truly victorious. And that's basically true spiritual victory. They also said victory is not something big that one has to achieve, but it's about every moment in life. And that was really very touching, at how every moment in life, if my thoughts, words and actions, as pointed out before as well by one of the brothers, it's really a beautiful way to be victorious. We go further. It reminds me of Sister Rena, who mentioned about obstacles. Like if I'm getting obstacles in life, they are coming to me because probably I have the ability to be victorious over them. So never mind if there are obstacles coming, be patient. They are coming to test you. Have full faith in the intellect. And that's what again is taught here at Brahma Kumaris, that Nishchay Buddhi Vijayanti, a soul who has full extreme faith in the self, in the divine being, and in the world drama, that whatever is happening for my best, is already victorious. And also to mention that few examples of victory, like on a deeper level again, in action, that is victory in action, that when I can maintain my inner dignity, again, the self-respect comes here, and I can remain content. We have covered contentment in detail, content with the self, content with the people around, content with what is happening in the world drama, and content obviously with the divine. And then when I can remain respectful to myself and others, no matter what, I'm really victorious. Come what may, whatever people are doing from outside, I have to be light and reflect that light from the space of my inner values, which I'm an embodiment of. So we move on to this proverb, which Brother Matthias said, that earlier I thought victory is something you have to fight for, and the result that is visible to everyone. But now I think victory is indeed connected with not doing anything, staying inside and not reacting, which means staying in my inner self-respect and not reacting, but responding to life situations. So that's true victory. And we had a few questions, which I'll be taking because I have, I think, almost 7-8 minutes more. So we spoke about this because the Navratri had started 3 weeks ago, and Navratri, which means the 9 nights. So Sister Gopi was asked about what is the significance, victory and Navratri. So we know it's all about the victory of good over evil. And we know what is this Maya or Ravan, which is our own weaknesses. So we need to, before we invoke the powers, we have to disidentify from this human consciousness, body consciousness, and re-identify at a very deep spiritual level, which will help me to connect with the Supreme. And only then can I invoke those 8 powers. If I'm not soul conscious, it's very difficult to invoke them. Next question was, how do you understand the aspect of winning the race? Are we really in a race? So again, we need to understand the true perspective. We are in a race, yes, but not against each other, but against our own self. How I was yesterday and I have to really compete with myself and go further. So get inspired from other people. Don't compare your life journey with them, but just continue living your life journey and make sure you are one step ahead from yesterday. Yes, this was another point. Again, it was coming up again and again that what's the difference between success and victory? And I think we'll ask Brother Golo as well to highlight this in his talk. That success is something on a physical level, it's an accomplishment of a task, usually physical task. Whereas victory is, beautifully said, something internal, and it's a stability against opposing forces. So it's really something at a very deeper inner level. And as Sister Anna and all of you all were saying about having victory over the vices, over the 5 vices. So it's against those opposing forces which don't allow me to be in soul consciousness and retain my soul consciousness, because they are just sitting there to challenge me. They means my weaknesses. It's nothing from outside actually. It's something inside. So there's a constant tussle inside between my devilish qualities and the deity qualities. And being able to remain stable in all this resistance is basically victory. Obstacles, again, we spoke about this before. So the proverb which was asked Brother Matthias, that obstacles are challenges for winners and excuses for losers. So we know that if someone is giving an excuse all the time, it's really, it's not, he won't be winning, because we can't give excuses if you want to win and if you want to be a victorious soul. So again, the same question which we referred to before, that if obstacles are not coming in my spiritual life, does that mean I'm not moving further? So Gopi Bahan mentioned that when I decide to be truthful, then I get challenges along the way relating to that. And therefore it is said about truth in Hindi, I'll say first, that such ki now hilegi dulegi but dubegi nahi, which means when you're really on a journey towards truth, there'll be a lot of obstacles coming and they will be trying to shake your boat up and down all the time. But your boat won't get drowned. We have a full faith in that, because this boat is, though being rocked by Maya, but it is being kept stable by the Supreme Being. So obstacles are not a means to make effort, but a byproduct of our own carelessness. That's a very beautiful, deep understanding that if I have been careless, obstacle will come. And Brother Matthias mentioned that I am probably stuck in a comfort zone and not able to actually look at that obstacle coming. So I should basically pause and deeply reflect that this obstacle has come in my life to teach me something, and what should be my next step. So that's what a beautiful answer which they mentioned about obstacles. And yes, the next question I think is the last one. Yeah, so if I create one negative thought of doubt, am I defeated at that very point itself? This was the question. And it reminds me here of our first administrative head, whom we lovingly call Mama. And that's the saying over the lotus. You can see there's a saying mentioned. And she mentioned that a mistake is made only once. If I'm doing it a second time, it's probably not a mistake. It's a choice which I am choosing to do. So the answer here was, if I have the thought of doubt, it's indeed a negative thought. So I've already made a mistake. So you can make one mistake, but don't make a second mistake of sustaining that doubt. Immediately apply something, as we mentioned in the action planning, apply something counter to that thought, and let that thought of doubt fade away. Don't sustain it. And I would see that it is an opportunity to learn and not a failure. Every obstacle coming in life is indeed trying to teach me something. So with this, we patiently await our dear brother Golo. I'll stop sharing the screen. And before I forget, so if there are we had many newcomers today. So if you want to please share your email addresses and WhatsApp numbers in the chat box to either everyone, if you're comfortable, or to Sister Vidhi, and Anu, so that we can send you all the materials which we have discussed here. And yes, so we have with us Brother Golo, if he can be please spotlighted. Yeah, thank you. So welcome. And before I give it to you, I still have 2 minutes to introduce you. So you're joining us from Gyan Sarovar. All of us know him very well. And he's really indeed a victorious soul in action. He'll tell us all those experiences. And let me tell you about him. He is a German by nationality, born there, but has been into Brahma Kumari since the age of 24, from 1984. And let me take you through his life journey a little bit. He'll tell more. He is an experienced meditation teacher, and he actually lectures on a lot of topics, particularly related to environment and climate change. I'll come to that. And he has traveled extensively across 75 countries. And what I like is he advocates the sustainable solutions through an ethical and values-based approach. That's what we all look at, the value-based approach in life. And a few more feathers in his cap is in his 1989, he founded this charitable trust called India Care, with headquarters in Berlin, and he had been its president for more than 14 years. And in 1990, Brother Golo moved to India and founded the Brahma Kumari Solar Department. I'm sure all of you are aware of that. And as we speak, he's currently the advisor for the renewable energy of the Brahma Kumaris and its sister organization, which we know, the World Renewal Spiritual Trust. Hang on, a few more feathers in the cap. In 2009, he became a founding member of the Brahma Kumaris Environment Initiative. And thereon, there's no looking back, because each year since then, 2009, a long time, 13, 14 years now, he participates every year in the United Nations climate change conferences and delivers the spiritual way of how to deal with this very upcoming climate change challenge. And also from 2010 to 17, he has coordinated the design and construction of India One plant, which is a 1 megawatt solar thermal power plant, all of you know, at the Shantivan campus. And also lastly, in the COVID pandemic, they were inspired, particularly he got this inspiration. In 2021, they co-founded the meditation platform called Yogis for Future, which is again an initiative inviting like-minded people to come together, meditate, and create good vibes, helping the planet and the entire world. And finally, I'll take a deep breath and read out the poem in the next half to 1 minute. So Brother Golo, through his innovation, is instrumental for setting up the solar. We know that now. That's because he's away from the world mindset, which is indeed very polar, which means polarized mindset. He's away from that. He says, invest everything here, whatever you have, in the form of dollar, so that you remain closer to the Supreme's heart and hold his collar, the Supreme's collar. In this game with Ravan, we have been speaking a lot about Ravan in the Q&A today as well. So in the game with Ravan, let me play the role of a mighty bowler, because Maya is on the loose and finding its prey like a prowler, hunting delicate birds and killing them cruelly like a fowler. Ravan really wants to dominate on me, trying to be a controller. But let me remain under the Supreme's canopy, in the stroller, and away from Maya, who's trying to trap me in its enclosure. And finally, I now connect only to him, the Supreme Being, because he's my supreme holder and making me rise above and high, holding me by my shoulder. So thank you so much, Brother Golo. And over to you. And it's almost 1 hour you have, so 45 to 50 minutes talk, and then the last 10 minutes meditation and our announcements. So it's all yours. Thank you once again.
Yeah, thank you very much, Manoj Bhai, for this elaborate introduction, and also the poetry, very nice. Yeah, indeed, many greetings from Gyan Sarovar. I just came back this morning from Jaipur. I was 4 days in Jaipur, 2 days in Jaipur, and a bit of a roller coaster program, and just came up from Shantivan, and then I was in History Hall in meditation, and just came here, and so it's quite a full-on throttle. yeah, it's great to be with you today and share a bit my personal journey on victory. It's a very interesting topic, and I looked up what victory actually means. If I have to talk on something, I always like to look up a little bit what's actually the meaning of the word. And interestingly, it comes from Latin victoria, and it was used in usually in warfare, when you are successful and you sort of win over the enemy. And there's even strategic victories, and there are tactical victories, which I learned now. And often victory is also used nowadays in business terms, and it means to become rich and to beat the opponent and defeating competition, which is a very big topic. And also it's quite often used in the world of sports. And this is something which is very close to me, because when I was growing up, I was sort of a sports person. I was in professional gymnastics and swimming and also diving. And it was all about winning or losing, or beating gravity, or being super flexible, or making good jumps, or whatever. And so my mind got really trained in sports and competition and being victorious. And this, interestingly, this mindset never really left me. I'm having an e-bike, and I go every evening with the electric bike to Pandav Bhavan, and still I want to go fast, and I want to win. I don't know why, but it thrills me and it satisfies me, and it's good fun to me. So I do it. And I don't like to be overtaken by a car. So that's quite funny. I'm 62, but still I'm a bit in racing. And this sports victory stuff may never leave me, you know. But anyhow, it has helped me often in many things. And was a driving force also for me to pull through in many projects. Victory is also used often in mythology, and there have been always stories about a hero. He's fighting usually a monster barehandedly often, and in Greek it's I think it's Nike, and in Roman it's Victoria, and it's also, we have it in India also. I will come to that slightly later. We also have heroes which battle the evil, and in Christianity, very famous symbol, very famous mythologies. For example, St. George, which is slaying the dragon. This is also a very famous symbol for this being victorious. And in India right now was the time of Dussehra, where they celebrate the victory of Ravan over Ravan, and Rama killed him. And the goddess Durga, I learned, she killed also a monster. I think it was an Asura, Maha Asura, something he's called. And they burn Ravan in India. It was done quite dangerously many times, and many people died in India burning Ravan. They fill him actually with firecrackers, and then they explode him. And in the beginning, there was no security arrangement whatsoever. And I had some very interesting encounters in such Ravan burning ceremonies, where there was mass panic and all this, because too much of explosive stuff, and nobody was knowing that the whole Ravan will explode in front of your eyes. So we had a lot of interesting situations with that. And actually, this word Dussehra, Dasha means 10, and Hara means to take away. So it takes away the vices from you. And like lust, anger, laziness, attachment, carelessness, ego, and so on. And these are the vices which are causing conflict in our life. So in India, every year is a big festival to celebrate that. And that's quite exciting, you know, because it's quite clearly meant like this. And the people also understand it in that way. If they burn Ravan, the vices have to go. And this is a real powerful festival here in India. Lots of people go there. In the world of spirituality, however, the victory has a different meaning. It's more about following your divine principles, values, imbibe them, and achieve success in your life through imbibing values. And the end result shall be that you achieve assimilation, or that you incorporate all these values into your day-to-day life and you refine your character. That's a big victory in spirituality. And then, of course, we have the Brahma Kumaris. And in Brahma Kumaris, victory is often associated with self-control and control also, of course, over the vices. And often we face adverse situations. And in Brahma Kumaris, they're called test papers. And it's all about managing these situations and come out victorious, means have success in personal stories, overcoming vices, or have success in projects, service projects. Often spiritual victories, they're also private and personal. They're just for me in my little Brahmin life. They're feelings of satisfaction, or understanding that I've passed a test. And tests can come also in many forms. Daily life, am I getting up at Amrit Vela? Am I fit at Amrit Vela? Am I patient? Am I tolerant? Am I kind to the other Brahmins, even if they make a lot of noise and all these kind of things? And it's also tests of courage and faith. And each test is like a challenge, and asks me to stay firm to my inner conviction. And I have to focus on my strength, on the virtues to overcome actually these challenges. And each challenge also, that's also my personal experience, each victory is very precious and is sort of fortifying myself and strengthening myself. And it's also shows if you have overcome some big problem and you became victorious, it also shows in the face and in the personality, in the radiation. It's also an empowering experience. Despite it's quite dramatic, many of these test papers can be very serious, can drag on over a long period of time, years, because often it is connected to the karma of the past. It's actually always connected to the karma of the past. And I believe we Brahmins are the specialists in terms of karma of the past. There is no other human beings which can have more karma amongst each other than Brahmins, because we have the longest period of time to stay together and hang out together. So a lot of stuff is going on. And it's quite interestingly, victory also is part of very much part of my personal story, because my first message when I met Baba, that was in 1985. This was the beautiful time when we came to Madhuban. There were 150 foreigners in double foreign season. And there was every second or every third night, there was Bab Dada's program. Dadi Gulzar came at 7:30, 7 o'clock, 6:30, 7 in the evening, spoke the Murli, and then program was going on usually until 4 o'clock next morning. And everybody met Baba when he was arriving. Then there was a main meeting, and then everybody was meeting Baba also when he left. And we got 2-3 messages, and quite personal messages. My first message was that Baba told me that I'm a king, and I said, I have no idea, because I was quite honest. I said, I don't know. And then Baba said, yeah, you are a king. I said, still second time, I said, I don't know. Then Baba said a third time, no, you are a king. And then I said, okay. If God says 3 times you're a king, I said, okay, I'm a king. And then he says, because you have faith, Nietzsche Buddhi, I think you are faithful, you have faith, then you will become victorious. And because you're victorious, you will become a king and you have a kingdom in Golden Age. I said, okay, fine, sounds all right. And Baba said, you will become a victorious jewel, which I had no idea at that time that this is a very special meaning. So Baba gave me this first blessing that I will be victorious. And somehow I had absolutely, at that time, you know, you come fresh in Gyan, you just, let's say, von Yen Gyan, come to Madhuban, and I had no idea what is in the pipeline, you know. Maybe I would have run away if I would have known what's all going to happen to me, you know, in Brahmin life. So many test papers, so many dramas, so many projects, but somehow I always kept this sports competition type mindset, you know, like when there was and I always have this this thing that I get ideas, you know, I get an idea to do something, you know, and some of the first things which happened was in the early 90s that I was sitting with Brother Manfred in the dining hall upstairs, which I'm just met actually also in the dining hall. So it's 40 years ago we met in the dining hall. And just now I had also Bochen with him in the dining hall, Manfred from Germany. And I told him it would be very nice we set up a nice trust, because that time that was 98, the hospital came up. And Manfred said, that sounds nice. And it was very funny. So I went to Daddy Junkie and I said, Daddy, we would like to set up a charitable trust for the hospital. So Daddy said, that sounds very good, but you go to Niverbai. So I went to Niverbai and said, Niverbai, let's set up a charitable trust. And Niverbai said, that's a good idea, but you see, it's a legal thing. So you go to Rameshbai. So I went to Rameshbai. I said, Rameshbai, we would like to set up a charitable trust in Germany and support the hospital. Rameshbai said, yeah, charitable trust is a good thing. We also have a charitable trust, but you know, it concerns the overall picture. So you have to go to Dadi Komaka. And so I asked Dadi Komaka, and she said, this is a foreign thing and you have to go to Dadi Junkie. So after I made a full round with all seniors, I decided nobody said no. And then we created that trust somehow, anyhow. And as a strategic bonus, we made Dadi Junkie the president of honor to be on the safe side. So even in this little affair, there were many test papers involved. Because I'm also a very fast and speedy person. It's one of my weaknesses. And I had to become patient, you know. Go to one person after the other. He said something like this. I said, okay. I go to the next one. He says the next one. And you make one round, which may take 2 or 3 days because not everybody's available at all the time. So, and then the issues didn't stop there. We had to create a constitution. And of course, we had no money as usual. We always have not enough money, by the way. If you know a method how to inspire Lakshmi for big money, please send me a mail or WhatsApp message. I would be very happy. So we had not much money, but we needed a professional constitution. So somehow a lawyer came in contact and he said, I have for another trust, I will give you free of charges. So after many deliberations and this and that, we set up the trust in 89 and we became actually quite successful. And then I started to collect equipment for Global Hospital. And in the beginning, I had absolutely no idea how to do this. And so I went to a hospital and I said, sir, we have a very good hospital in India. And we need some equipment for it. And he said, he called the caretaker and says, go with this gentleman to the underground and show him the underground, and whatever is there he can take. So that was a university clinic in München, very big one. So the caretaker took me to the underground, and this was not one room. These were like 30 rooms. It was like one hall after the other. And this place was full with anesthesia machines, operation tables, mammography, blood banks, gastroscope, endoscopes, all in good condition, all the top brands, Olympus, Draeger, Heraeus. And I asked the gentleman, I said, that's a massive amount of equipment. So what can I take of this? And he looked at me and said, you can take whatever you want. So that was how I organized my first ship container. And I was so nervous because I've never sent a ship container. I didn't know how to do it. And then somehow, you know, again, I was in this project mode that I had some challenging thing to do. And again, I got so many test papers because I had to find an agent. Of course, we had no money to send the container, so we needed some special discount. So I had to negotiate within people. So long story short, the container went in the ship, and then I traveled to Bombay. And I can see also Dr. Mehta there. He knows some of the stories. And then I had to clear the container. And Indian customs is something it's better to avoid. And it's a delicate and special experience, if I describe it mildly. And sometimes it took 3 weeks to get the container out of the customs premises. And it was a complicated process. And we needed some 50 signatures. And as this is a public channel, I don't want to go too much in details. But it was quite dramatic, and I experienced many new things in my life. And finally, we got the container out. Then another challenge, another test paper, how to get this container to Mount Abu. Nobody wanted to drive to Mount Abu. Finally, we got a truck, went to Mount Abu, went all the way up. And then the next issue was to unload all these heavy machines and equipments because there was no provision in Mount Abu. So I had to make a ramp and unload everything. So there was one test and one challenge after the other. And I got tested, my patience, problems, thinking, and then sometimes things works out. You become victorious, but sometimes also you're back to square one, especially if you have to wait 3 weeks to get a container out of the premises, and it's all a bit of a nonsense, you know, but you have to follow the procedure. So then the story was still not over. When I was in the hospital, then the doctor says, okay, this is fantastic equipment, how to install it? I said, okay, I install it. So I installed it, and I had no idea. I had to learn the manual and make many phone calls and make foundations and this and that. And then they said, okay, how to operate it? I said, guys, I'm not a doctor. They said, yeah, but we never had this equipment before. So I had to make another phone call. Luckily, my brother is a doctor. So I said, okay, you put the patient here, and then you push the button, and then you get a picture, and that you have to interpret yourself because I have no idea. So that's luckily where my test paper ended in this regard. So this whole story to bring containers to India and help the global hospital was a self-created challenge. It was a huge test paper, but I learned a lot. It was almost like the diamond gets polished, and I felt like I'm coming on the next level of test papers and projects. And that happened then when Dadi Komaka, that was, I think, 92 or so, we bought Gyan Sarovar land. And Dadi Komaka said, okay, every country should build one house. I said, that's a very good idea. And I'm a builder. So I thought, let's build a house. So how to build a house in India, you know, and so first we need a design. So somehow an architect popped up. This was Professor Minke from Kassel. He's an environmental architect, very famous. He was co-architect of the Olympic Stadium, which is a landmark building, and later became an environmental architect. And we thought Gyan Sarovar should become an environmental example. You know, everything should be natural construction. So he came up with a design, and he came to India, and he gave me the design. And the problem was it was something round. And at that time in India, that was not so easy to build something in a controlled way, but round, but straight, nicely round, you know, nicely curved. I had many test papers and challenging, and I freaked out, but somehow I could also not give up, you know, because I was involved in the project, and I'm a German. Germans, they want to complete. And victory meant for me also that the thing should, at the end, should be successful, be there. So it took almost 3 years to build Solar House. It was the first building in Gyan Sarovar, and somehow it was the only I was the only foreigner who really built a house in Gyan Sarovar. All the others who tried, they failed. They couldn't do it. They couldn't manage. They ran away. They got frustrated. They didn't have proper design or whatever. So that's how Solar House was built. And then I had the courage to build also a little meditation dome, which is all out of mud bricks and environmental friendly. And then I thought whole Gyan Sarovar will become now environmental friendly, but by drama, so many other architects were there, and Gyan Sarovar became a veritable concrete jungle. All was concrete buildings and concrete roads. And this was a huge test paper for me, because I said, oh my God, we should make something environmental friendly. Now we're building with concrete. So I didn't understand it at that time. Now it's okay, I'm fine with it. But at that time, this was a big test paper. So victory and defeat, they were always close together, you know. Sometimes I had victory, sometimes I had defeat, but it was always a learning process. And I felt sometimes I'm in the middle of a hurricane, you know, with all these projects, and it challenged me to the core, and it challenged me to my total capacity, what I could somehow endure, and what I could sort of manage. And then Solar House was built, this was built, and then I had the next idea. Now we have to equip all these things with, that's my problem. I always had these inspirations, these ideas, and then we should make it with solar. And nobody had an idea of solar. And again, mega test papers. And somehow I was able to go to German government and tell them, you see, Mount Abu, very good place. Brahma Kumar is a very good organization, and we're very good people, and we need some money. We will do some very nice thing. So I got a little bit of money, and we built the first solar cooker. And then it was successful. We cooked some kheer, and everybody said, oh, that is working with the solar cooker. So I got more money from the government, 100,000 Deutschmark. That was a lot of money at that time. And we built the first solar steam cooking system in Gyan Sarovar. I think it took 2 years. And this was a Maha test. Technical, it was so challenging. You see, I'm coming from construction, and there was suddenly, we had to deal with steam, with pipelines. I had to build expansion joints, and there were no proper tools, and people had no clue how to build that. I had no clue. So I had to make many phone calls to Germany. And at that time, the telephone lines were not good. So one time you make a call, you want to call to somebody, you had to try 10 times. And then after 2 minutes, the line got disrupted. So it was fantastic situation to become super patient and loving and compassionate. And I sometimes felt the person who I am gets grinded and grinded and grinded and grinded, becomes powder, and then the wind comes and blows the powder into the desert of Rajasthan. I felt sometimes like that. I'm disintegrating because these projects were so intense, and I had to go full throttle in to keep them alive, to get the money together, to get the technology together, to motivate the people, keep the seniors happy, and so on. It was quite amazing. So finally, solar cooker started working. Then I thought, that's enough. No more projects. Now I will not do any more big project. I really told myself, because it was quite too much. And then Ramesh, after 1 year, came to me and says, Golo, we got some big land in Abu Road, that was Shantivan, and we're building now a hall. And I want you to build a big solar cooker there for 30,000 meals a day. I said, no. He said, think about it. Then I said, okay, maybe. Finally, I started building it. I even got money made an application to the MNRE, you know, dealing with Indian government is another Maha test paper. They are differently wired than the Germans. I learned the head shake in India, you know, this one. So I said, will you give us a sanction now and the money? They say, ha, 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 ha. It took me many years to decipher the non-verbal communication in India, so to say, and navigate my way and understand what's going on and not think, oh my God, he said yes, because a yes not necessarily means a yes, you know, a yes can be also a diplomatically no, or can be a maybe, or can mean also later, not now, come again. So I had to learn all this the hard way. So many test papers, but somehow I'm a bit of a persistent person. So I had also their sort of victory, and we got the money. And then this solar cooker was done, everything was fine. And then so many other projects came up. Then we had the idea, I had the idea, unfortunately, I always had these ideas. And then I suffered, I got these test papers after these ideas came up. Then we had this idea to put up 50 solar systems for all India. So then I started traveling in India. We got the finances done with Ramesh Bhai together. And then we collected 50 centers in India, which were ready to put up a 5 kilowatt system. We got government funding from, I think, the Australian government. It was an Australian inverter. I had to travel to Australia. It was all a huge adventure. And it was challenging. It was like a sports challenge, you know. And but so again, so many test papers involved, getting all together, getting all the centers on board, traveling there, installing the systems, training them, convincing them, collecting the money, so many things, dramas, and wonderful. And I got polished and polished and polished and polished, and my again, I got pulverized, and my ashes got blown all over India in this project. And then I thought I should now retire and enjoy the fruits of my Brahmin life. That was my idea, and I was very firm in that. And I said, that's it. And then we had a spaghetti dinner in Solar House, and there was a German engineer, and he was quite good. He's the inventor of this dish, Wolfgang Schäffler. And we were sitting there, and suddenly I had an idea. I thought, let's build a power station. Then this German engineer said, no, don't build it, don't build it. It's too complicated. I said, why not? We build it, a big one, and we supply whole Shantivan with power. He said, no, Golo, it's a very complicated project. Don't do it. I said, no. I was crazy. I'm sometimes a bit crazy, but it gets better now. I'm somehow get better. I don't have so many ideas nowadays. Maybe it's coming with age, you know, and maybe it's wisdom or so, you know, something like that. So he said also it's too costly, and it's huge, you know, and Shantivan is a huge complex, and you need a huge land and money, and technology is very, very complicated. But somehow I was lost in this idea. The current from above hit me, a lightning bolt, and I made an estimate. We needed $10-15 million, and I went to Neverby, and I said, Neverby, let's build a power station in Shantivan, and we just need at that time 80 crores. It was a fabulous amount of money 20 years ago. Neverby looked at me with big eyes, because you know I'm a bit sort of sometimes come with strange ideas. He looked at me with big eyes and became very serious. He says, Golo, don't talk any further about this project. I said, oh. Then I went to Ramesh Bhai, and I said, Ramesh Bhai, let's build a big power station. We only need 80 crores. Then Ramesh Bhai said, Golo, I have no money whatsoever. Whatever you do, you have to do it yourself. I cannot help you a little bit. So that was quite encouraging. That was the first test paper before even anything happened, just the idea. So I went to Daddy Janki, and Daddy looked at me, you know, she went into this X-ray sort of smiley, bit laid back, looking at me. And after 30 seconds, she said, Daddy likes the idea. That was the light at the end of the tunnel. Then I said, okay, if Daddy likes the idea, there is a chance. And it was quite miraculous. You know, we had no land. We needed a huge land. And I found out in Mount Abu, you don't get land, big land. It's impossible. In Abu Road, it's impossible. It's all karst land, you know, and nobody has such a big chunk of land. And then after a month, one brother came to Nearby and said, I have a huge chunk of land and I wanted to build a health farm there, a spa, but I don't have enough money. And I offer, he was a BK brother, I offer it to the Yagya at my cost price. And this land was big, very big land, and 3 kilometers away from Shandiwan. Was the biggest land actually at that time in the whole district. And I said to Nearby, that's for the solar project. Of course, Nive wasn't that favorable for that, but somehow it ended up becoming the land for the solar project. And then I got this idea to go to the government and filed an application. I came to know a German government guy, and he said, I help you to apply with the German government. We bypass everybody and you apply directly to the ministry, which is not as it's supposed to be, directly to the joint secretary you apply, and I will make the procedure. He came to Abu, and he's a good friend of us, very good friend. He came many times to Mount Abu, and I visit him every year. And so I applied it, and the German government agreed to fund us with 50%, which was a huge amount of money. And Baba was, at crucial situations where the test became too big, and I couldn't handle it, and I didn't know how to do it. Baba helped, and Baba guided, which was very, very, very beautiful to experience when you get direct help from above. It's like, impossible becomes possible. So somehow we got money from the German government. Then I went to the Indian government and I said, the Germans are funding us, and what are you doing? So I filed an application, and the Indian government said, yeah, which meant after 2 years, finally, they gave us the sanction. So I learned patience, which is the most horrible test paper for me because I'm such a fast person. It was horrible. Yeah, now I'm good. I'm fully Indianized, and Chalega, everything is all right, So after 40 years, I did it. Yeah. So I got the Indian government in the boat, and suddenly we had 75% finances. And then I went to Ramesh Bhai, said, Ramesh Bhai, we need some money. And then sometimes Ramesh Bhai said, I have no money, nothing. So, and I had such big bills, and, like 120 lakhs bills, And I said, who will pay? He says, go, I don't have money. So I went to Daddy Junkie and said, Daddy, I have no money. And Ramesh Bhai, this, that. Then Daddy looked at me and Daddy said, Daddy will help. And she was sending Sakash. It's 4 o'clock in the morning. I was sitting like that, and I could feel that current coming from Daddy. And Daddy went to London and came back with big amount of money, transferred it to Ramesh Bhai. Ramesh Bhai called me, come and bring all the bills. So I went happily with all my bills. And Ramesh Bhai said, how many bills? I gave him the whole VAT on the table. And Ramesh Bhai said, okay, I'll pay it. And like this, I had many experiences, impossible experiences. And I had so many challenges and test papers that the person, and I went through the fire. They were so strong, these test papers, that I almost went through the fires and I completely burned to ashes. And I couldn't leave the project. I was caught up, and imagine this project took almost 10 years to complete it. So for 10 years, I couldn't get out of it. I couldn't leave it. And we had land issues, we had financial issues, and we had technology issues of gigantic proportions. See, to make these dishes, they're made out of 600 pieces. We had to acquire our own structural engineering software. We had to hire consultancy companies for simulation. We made an agreement with the best solar research institute in the world, Fraunhofer Institute in Germany. They made the simulation for us, but we had to pay them. So I had to go to the government, organize some more funds for them, which we got. So they did the simulation for us. And then we had to get Siemens in the board for the turbine. They gave us the foundation details, huge foundations, and so on. So it was technically extremely challenging, and we didn't have the expertise at all in-house. No chance. too complicated. It's really high tech, and this was so full of challenges. But I somehow had this sports mind and said, okay, it's an adventurous challenge, and let's do it and let's get it done. And luckily, I always had love for meditation and yoga, and usually in evening I go to history hall, and somehow that kept me running and kept me also sane, like in such a mental stage that I could move on and complete this project. I didn't break down. I was sometimes at breakdown point, but somehow I managed, and Baba helped, and there was touching from above. Sometimes when it was so critical, he used Dadi or another senior or Ramesh Bhai or this or that. And somehow it all went up. And finally, after 10 years, then the last test paper, the last challenge was, we wanted that Baba will inaugurate the project, because we worked so hard. Like 5,000 tons of steel, 2,000 foundations, 200 workers on site, 10 years, maha stress to build this project. It was quite a tough job. And and that was the time when Dadi's health was deteriorating, and sometimes Baba did not come, and Dadi was in Bombay. So we made a little picture with a button where Baba can push the button. And then the big question is, will Baba come? And then Baba came. Dadi went in trance, and Bab Dada came, and we all went on stage, gave to Baba this little thing, and Dadi's body was trembling. She was trembling. She was not strong, but Baba was there, and Baba said, "Bota Cha," pushed the button and inaugurated India 1, and that was the last time Bab Dada came. After that, Dadi Gulzar never came back from Bombay, and so that was also a test, and we had victory in that Baba came and our wish got fulfilled. So now I'm gone through so many things, so many test papers. And after India 1, I told myself, I will not do anything anymore project, because project always means test papers. But somehow, about 6 months ago, we found out that our solar cooker in Gyansa rover is completely corroded. It's 25 years old, and we have to replace it. My old sanskaras kicked in. My sports competition mentality took over. I said, okay, let's do a project. I made a budget, went to Dr. Nirmala. I said, Dr. Nirmala, the old cooker is gone, and we need a new cooker. Here's the budget, and here's the amount. And Dr. Nirmala said, where should I sign? I said, here. And she signed. And because Dr. Nirmala signed, it's a 2 crore project. All the others also signed. And now our Dr. Nirmala is gone, as per drama, which was also test paper for many. And in a way, she was quite victorious in the last moments, I would say. She was quite strong. And our project is continuing. I have some test papers in this project also, but it is all, compared to the previous stuff, this is all manageable. And I also have had so many lessons and learned so many things and refined the character. I got rid of my impatience. I got rid of my anger, getting angry. So I got rid of many of the obstacles of my personality. And in retrospect, I see my personal pathway in the Yagya like a very carefully designed pathway to slowly become perfect and become a victorious jewel. What Baba actually told me, the message, it makes, the longer I'm in Gyan, the further away in time it is, the more it makes sense to me. And now my final test paper is to conquer the consciousness of the body. I go every evening into history hall and I meditate and I knock at subtle region. I say, Baba, please pull me up or open the gate to subtle region. I want to fly up. Somehow it's not yet happening. And when I was in Jaipur, there's one sister, she goes in trance and she brought very nice book message. And she told me, she said, Baba said that the children are all making efforts, but there's still little dust on the angelic body, dust of the old world and the old sanskars. And this dust keeps you grounded and doesn't allow you to fully connect to above. And now you have to get rid of all of that. This is the time to do it, to fully clear up your final accounts, to clear up also old sanskars which occasionally come up, to become free of them and fly high. And if we look into the current situation of the world, I mean, this climate change thing. This year, India had a very strange monsoon. Some places too much rain, some places not enough rain. The spring was too hot. And India stopped exporting rice and wheat. India's third largest export of rice and wheat in the world, and it stopped exporting rice and wheat because the harvest is a failure this year. And so India said, we need whatever we produce, we need in India, which is a big blow to many poor countries in the world because they don't get the wheat and the rice from India now. So the signal is there in the environment, in climate change. It's very dramatic. And the scientists find out now that climate change is happening much faster than expected. And the coming years will be very disastrous. We will already, this year in Europe was total disaster, wildfires, flooding, horrible, horrible, horrible. And it will increase, it will become more. So situation is becoming very, very delicate in terms of climate change. And we are looking forward to the climate conference in Dubai. And we will see how people respond to this challenge, that things happen much faster than expected. And how we position ourselves in the whole process, you know. Then also there's a massive loss of biodiversity. So many species are disappearing, forests are disappearing, whole regions turn into deserts because no more rain and so on. So big loss of biodiversity, animals, species, birds, the nature is disappearing, nature is dying. And lastly, we see also the geostrategical tensions in the world, especially Ukraine, Russia. Now the Middle East is exploding. And Baba has told many times there will be these bells, you know, these signals. And also our Dr. Nirmala left us. She was also a pillar in the institution. So we can see that many souls are going. Drama is coming into a final chapter. And in Madhuban, Brahmins say, not many years left for spiritual efforts, you know. So my last effort, my last frontier is now to conquer the consciousness, my last test paper, my last adventure, last challenge, big challenge, and where I hopefully will become victorious, is to conquer body conscious and become an angel and fly high and give drishti from above to the world. And I remember that Baba has given a very beautiful book message some time ago, which inspired me a lot. Children, Baba was emerging all the children, and there were many Vimans, and the children said, oh, there are Vimans, we want to fly. And they all jumped and wanted to open the door, but they couldn't open the door because they couldn't open it. And they all looked to Baba and said, Baba, we cannot open the door. Then Baba said, become introverted. Then the children became introverted, and then click, they could open the door. And Then they're sitting inside, and then the seat was wobbly, and there was a seat belt, but they couldn't put on the seat belt, because the lock was not there, or they couldn't find it. Then they looked to Baba and said, Baba, we cannot put on the seat belt. Then Baba said, have faith. Have faith. Faith in the self, and faith in Baba, and faith in the drama. And the moment they had faith, and Baba said, become also determined. Have faith and be determined. Never give up. So the moment the children went in that mindset, they could lock the seatbelt and the chair became silent. Then they wanted to start the Viman with the start button. They pressed the button, but the Viman didn't sort of power up. And they looked to Baba, Baba, the Viman is not powering up. And Baba said, you have to become an angel and serve the world. So the children, okay, I'm an angel. I'm bodiless. Angel's not touching the ground. Angel is pure. Angel is managing his light body. And angel can fly and serve the world. So give drishti to the whole world, to all the souls which are suffering war, hunger, destruction, or in relations or things. And the moment they went in this consciousness, the Viman powered on and they took off and everybody was flying. We can fly. But suddenly a lot of clouds came. Everything was becoming very cloudy, very cloudy, very cloudy. It was like fog. And the children got all very confused because they lost orientation. And they said, oh, Baba, we don't know where we are flying. What is going on? It's so confusing. We don't know what's upstairs and downstairs. And then Baba says, become fearless. And then the children all became fearless. And then the clouds parted away. They could see golden age, and they all flew to golden age, and they all could land there. And then they all went there and lived happily forever. So that was the book message. And this I sort of use a bit in meditation as a sort of rehearsal, as a bit of a method to go into silence, to have faith in the self, and in drama and Baba, become determined, never give up, become angel, give drishti to the world, and then fly high and become fearless at the end. Because that fear is also connected to our body. When we leave the body, there's a lot of fear. So that is the last challenge. It's the last frontier, and it's the last border. And it is, I try to apply my sports mentality and see it as a competition. And I look forward to be victorious in that also. And if a little bit of doubt comes, I will say, Baba said, be faithful. So I'm faithful. It will happen. I will be victorious. No problem. And once you have faith, Nietzsche Buddhi, you have faith in the intellect, victory is guaranteed. That's also part of the message which I got from Baba. When you have faith, then victory is guaranteed. So I have shared my inner life. I've never shared like that with anybody. I shared a bit what happened to me on my personal journey here in Yagya in Madhuban, how all these test papers, projects, defeat and victory, how that all happened to me. And after 40 years, I'm become happy in my Brahman life, very happy. I become very faithful. I become convinced, yes, that I will be victorious. And I really start enjoying also my Brahman life, let these small test papers come, what is there? They're good to give final polish to the diamond, so it becomes beautiful. And so I look forward for the next coming years. They will be very challenging. They will be quite dramatic. And they will be also extremely rewarding. And Baba said, be fearless. When you're fearless, you will see. And I like to see how the world is being transformed, because I like very much mind and matter connection. And I believe our mind, that's also the last frontier, our mind will conquer matter and will be victorious over matter, will become the ruler. Our thoughts will create reality. And I think if we're all visualizing Golden Age, like we really see the picture of Golden Age there, that our collective vision will become so powerful that matter must follow this vision, and our purity will become so strong that we purify matter and force all the pollution and the disturbance which is now in all the systems, that we clean everything, that we renovate everything, that we refurbish everything, and that destruction and creation is just like a microsecond process, and that we all jointly, with the power of our thoughts, create the new Satyuga. So Baba said, it is defeat for the prey and victory for the hunter. And I'm very, very excited about that. I'm long time in Gyan, but I still get very excited about Gyan and the fabulous time which is happening now in front of our eyes. And I feel also in the field of service, I had in the last couple of months so many special experiences. Baba said, time will come, they will offer the platform to you to give speeches. And I experienced that. Now it becomes much more easy for us to give a speech or to get invitations and this and that. And especially in India, where the president is associated with Brahma Kumaris, and Prime Minister Modi is also in favor of Brahma Kumaris institution. Whenever I go somewhere and I say I'm from the Brahma Kumaris, they say it's very good, very good, very good. It's like the doors are opening in front. So there are many signals that we are in a very special transition time now. It's very close. It's very precious, the time. Very, very, very precious. And we should all become aware that every moment is a diamond moment, and we should value it accordingly and do the level best and become victorious. Thank you very much. I think I used up definitely my time, and I give back to the moderator.
Thank you so much, Brother Golo. I think this is the divine providence. Baba wanted you to speak all this on victory because your personal experiences, which no one knows, you have shared your secrets. I can make that. And this will be a special episode. I think we'll call you back again and again for a few more values. And I really liked it when you said that the Bhog message, those three values, the faith, determination, and fearlessness. And it reminds me of a very sweet Didi Nirmala, Dr. Nirmala. I mean, she was the one who spoke on fearlessness. And she was an embodiment of fearlessness. And she was with us in the last Dashera, last 2022. And we really miss her presence in the physical way, but we know she's in a subtle angelic way with us. And now with this, I'll take the opportunity to invite Dr. Ashok Mehta, whom you know very well. You also mentioned about him, to give the vote of thanks, and followed by Sister Anu. Thank you.
Golo Bhai, Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
Amazing. But I'm not amazed. I have seen you from day one, 1989 onwards. I had the privilege to see Dr. Golo, young Golo. And we had the privilege of traveling across Germany, went to Poland, traveled in different parts, saw multiple hospitals. I know where he got the bug of the solar, because we went to, I think, I can't remember the city's name. It was not Hamburg, but it's where Professor Menke used to live, I think. We went, that's correct. So we went to a project where the solar battery was developed, solar car was being developed. That's where he got the first bug, because that was a time when he was quite excited. And from there, this little infection traveled. And I think it's amazing what he has done and achieved. He's always been very innovative, always smiling. I think he had all the qualities of being victorious wherever he went. And every time he met only challenges. I remember everything that he did for the Global Hospital in Mount Abu. I think we also went to the Lilavati Hospital's basement, if you remember. We used to go to basement everywhere, wherever there was something available for us for free. I think Golo has many, many very, very special qualities. And that's how he has been brought to the Baba's Yagya. But Golo probably didn't reveal today that his specialty is to make old houses new in Germany. In Germany, you cannot demolish a house, old house. So all that you can do is keep the exterior the same, but you can change everything inside. And I think that is his specialty. He is also creating the new world, because I think the solar power is the most important power when all other electricity will fail. So I think he has a very, very special role in the Yagya. I'm privileged to have seen him right from the scratch, creating this fantastic.
And Dr. Saab, if I may mention, interestingly, we have at the same day birthday.
We share the same birthday.
Yes.
Okay, I think maybe that those stars are favorable, I think. But Golo, what I realize is there's a whole, about 25 people have written about, they're so touched by your experience. I'm also touched because I knew that this is going to be touching. But I don't know how Manoj Bhai decided to pick on a victory, because that's where, yes, I think, Manoj Bhai, did you know that you're dealing with a guy who's been always victorious?
I mean, obviously we know about Brother Golo, but I think it's Baba's work. Baba chooses the particular person for that value. I think Baba's perfect choice.
Not
always.
I saw the German trust. That was the first trust we decided to help the Global Hospital in Mount Abu. And I think Golo Bhai was the youngest in that whole group of people. Manfred Bhai and other sisters were there, but Golo Bhai was a real mover. He moved and he could shake anything. His fearlessness, I've seen him multiple times coming to Ramesh Bhai for help. And I think what he has is a rare quality of not accepting the defeat. I've seen him also creating that beautiful house in which he leaves the solar house, the domed structure at the back of the Harmony Hall, so beautiful. Also, the meditation hall, which has created that small little structure. And if Golo Bhai had his way, everything in Gyan Sarovar would be in a mud house and no concrete at all. I think that is
it's okay.
Yeah, but at least he has kept the symbolic two structures, which are made of mud, and reminds us of association of Professor Menke with the project. Golo Bhai, you are superb. Thank you very much for sharing. And sharing came like a flow. I know that now he's an international speaker and international thinker. He knows exactly what's happening in the world. That I didn't know that there are deserts being created at the moment. I didn't know that so much was happening, but we can, knowing Baba's knowledge and being familiar with the near future, I think what you have done is a phenomenal we'll have the power when all the powers fail, thanks to Golo. And of course, the inspiration must have come from Baba. Baba picks up the right people, makes them work, and gives them strength. It gives them everything that they need. So we thank the victorious brother for bringing in sharp focus how to become victorious, to become fearless, determined, and amazing. Okay, Golo, thank you very much once again.
So I want to thank Dr. Mehta. Yes, it was like a flow of river. It was really thoroughly empowering session. It is all true experiences. And I also want to thank Brother Manoj because, yes, I think he always brings the right speaker with the right speciality. So it was thoroughly appropriate that you are speaking to us today and the great achievements. Sister Claudia is not able to join today. So on behalf of her and the whole Vancouver family, a special thank you and hello, Brother Golo. You were here a few years ago with us and we have heard all of this. You remember? Yes. As you can all see, very enthusiastic always. And I think that is that childlike curiosity and enthusiasm. I think that is the combination God loves. And all that we heard are really amazing, nothing less than amazing. And the last bit of that 4 steps to become, what is the test papers? Now we love test papers. As you said it, to design your path to become perfect. So wonderful from all of us here today. Very deep, heartfelt thanks.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, all of you. We are slightly delayed, but we'll take the liberty for going on for next 5 to 10 minutes. And I think I wanted to ask Brother Golo, I'm not asking now, I know we don't have time today, but in future, probably you can tell us more about how you motivate at the climate change conferences through your talks. And I'm sure Baba will get you again. It's not me or someone else. We'll have some value which will be closely related to that. So in the next 5 to 6 months, we'll be seeing you again here. Thank you for that. I'll just quickly share the announcements so that we know what we are doing in the coming days. Right, so just, so here we go. Yeah, so as all of us know that we are celebrating our 3rd anniversary, but before that, let me just announce this. In the next 12 hours from now, exactly, as all of us know that we do the silence retreat once a month, so please join us. In India, it's morning time tomorrow, 8:30 to 10:30, and very much we'll go in depth on this value of victory. And Brother Golo has really shared so many experiences. And I think in the depth of silence, what Baba has to say through his Avyak Murlis, which we have compiled in the form of a silence retreat, you're welcome to join in 12 hours from now. And before we go on to celebrating the next 3rd anniversary, which was supposed to happen the last weekend when Didi Nirmala left the body. So we have postponed it. It's tomorrow again, exactly 24 hours from now. So again, India time, it will be evening, 8:30 p.m. because the clocks on the West Coast, US, Canada go back. So please note the time. In India, it's 8:30 p.m. to 10. And West Coast, as usual, 7 a.m. And we have our 3 special Rajyogi souls, Sudesh Didi, Santosh Didi, and Brother Eric, who will be interviewing them. So please don't miss this. It's a special event. And also, Diwali is round the corner. The 4th year has just begun now. And we have a special soul who Brother Golo was mentioning all the time, again and again. And I hope that Brother Nirvair can join because he's committed. He has said yes. But as always, let's see what the Divine Drama plan has, whether his health permits or not. Because a few days ago also, when the Baba Milan was happening, he was in Ahmedabad for his health checkup. But he's all fine, actually. There's no problem. And he will be interviewed actually by Dr. Pratap Medha, who is the director of Global Hospital and Research Center. And we have this very special value, uniqueness, and how both of them are unique in their own ways. We can find out. It's a Diwali special episode on Saturday 11th. So please don't miss. And we have many more such episodes where we'll be having new senior Rajyogis who haven't been covered in the episode so far. And we have Sister Radhika. She'll be doing the workshop exercises, doing the workshop talk with us. That's an announcement to be done later. This is our November calendar, which will be sending you. It's on the WhatsApp group as well as the display picture. So you can please go through it. And these are our websites. And all these talks are recorded. So please, you can feel free to go on to the links which are mentioned and enjoy, because it's almost a bouquet of 76 episodes and workshops so far now. So it's a big chunk of material which you can go through at leisure as well. So I'll just stop sharing the screen, and now we'll go in the meditation mode with Brother Golo. Should we play some music and take drishti or some commentary or whatever suits? Drishti or commentary? Whatever.
For how long should we do this?
Just few minutes, 3 to 4 minutes. That's fine.
Okay.
So we'll take drishti, maybe that's good. Or you want to say something is fine.
Would you like to do a commentary, or we can play a song and you can give us drishti?
I'll play a song. I was just in History Hall on Gadi, so I will just go in that consciousness.
Play some songs. We'll take drishti.
And I think we have to also take a photograph. We don't want to miss this. So everyone, I know we are very late, but I think everybody of us would love to have this photograph with Brother Golo. So open your video. Otherwise, you'll be. Beautiful, thank you. So I'll play song now. So let's take drishti and enjoy it.
Journey awakens within when songs of remembrance begin. The child of the Father is lost in the ocean of love, holding the hand of the guide through the path of confusion inside. Tears become pearls in the silence and passing of time. The song of remembrance is sung in unlimited rhyme. The song of remembrance is sung in unlimited rhyme. Dance away to the beautiful music you wanted to play. Dance away in your heart. Dance away to the beautiful music you wanted to play. Dance away in your heart, in your The palace of mirrors reflect the secrets within you reject. A hat of some status disguising the kingdom of light. The room of your heart you vacate when the hotel of sorrows your fate. Locked in a jungle of questions, the fortune of hell. The strings of attachment draw masters right under the spell. The strings of attachment draw masters
Okay, so thank you all of you. Looks like Brother Golo is, here you are. Okay. Okay. Om Shanti.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Brother Golo. We are all victorious. We'll be victorious. Bye now, everyone.